The blood smell from my hands means nothing now with all that scent in the water. Besides, they do not bleed much. There is nothing cut that means anything. The bleeding may keep the left from cramping. What can I think of now? He thought. Nothing. I must think of nothing and wait for the next ones. What can I think of now? He thought. Nothing. I must think of nothing and wait for the next ones. I wish it had really been a dream, he thought. But who knows? It might have turned out well. The next shark that came was a single shovelnose. He came like a pig to the trough, if a pig had a mouth so wide that you could put your head in it. The old man let him hit the fish, and then drove the knife on the oar down into his brain. But the shark jerked backwards as he rolled, and the knife blade snapped. The old man settled himself to steer. He did not even watch the big shark sinking slowly in the water, showing first life size, then small, then tiny. That always fascinated the old man. But he did not even watch it now. I have the gaff now, he said. But it will do no good. I have the 2 oars and the tiller and the short club. Now they have beaten me, he thought. I am too old to club sharks to death. But I will try it, as long as I have the oars and the short club and the tiller. He put his hands in the water again to soak them. It was getting late in the afternoon, and he saw nothing but the sea and the sky. There was more wind in the sky than there had been, and soon he hoped that he would see land. You're tired, old man, he said. You're tired inside. The sharks did not hit him again, until just before sunset. The old man saw the brown fins coming along the wide trail. The fish must make in the water. They were not even quartering on the scent. They were headed straight for the skiff, swimming side by side. He jammed the tiller, made the sheet fast, and reached under the stem for the club. It was an oar handle from a broken oar sawed off to about 2.5 feet in length. He could only use it effectively with one hand because of the grip of the handle, and he took good hold of it with his right hand, flexing his hand on it, as he watched the sharks come. They were both galanos. I must let the first one get a good hold, and hit him on the point of the nose or straight across the top of the head, he thought. The two sharks closed together, and as he saw the one nearest him open his jaws and sink them into the silver side of the fish, he raised the club high and brought it down heavy, and slamming onto the top of the shark's broad head. He felt the rubbery solidity, as the club came down. But he felt the rigidity of bone too, and he struck the shark once more hard across the point of the nose, as he slid down from the fish. The other shark had been in and out, and now came in again with his jaws wide. The old man could see pieces of the meat of the fish spilling white from the corner of his jaws, as he bumped the fish and closed his jaws. He swung at him and hit only the head, and the shark looked at him, and wrenched the meat loose. The old man swung the club down on him again as he slipped away to swallow, and hit only the heavy solid rubberiness. "Come on, Galano," the old man said. "Come in again." The shark came in a rush, and the old man hit him as he shut his jaws. He hit him solidly, and from as high up as he could raise the club. This time he felt the bone at the base of the brain, and he hit him again in the same place, while the shark tore the meat loose sluggishly and slid down from the fish. The old man watched for him to come again, but neither shark showed. Then he saw one on the surface swimming in circles. He did not see the fin of the other. I could not expect to kill them, he thought. I could have in my time. But I have hurt them both badly, and neither one can feel very good. If I could have used a bat with 2 hands, I could have killed the first one surely. Even now, he thought. He did not want to look at the fish. He knew that half of him had been destroyed. The sun had gone down, while he had been in the fight with the sharks. It will be dark soon, he said. Then I should see the glow of Havana. If I am too far to the eastward, I will see the lights of one of the new beaches. I cannot be too far out now, he thought. I hope no one has been too worried. There is only the boy to worry, of course. But I am sure he would have confidence. Many of the older fishermen will worry. Many others too, he thought. I live in a good town. He could not talk to the fish anymore, because the fish had been ruined too badly. Then something came into his head. Half fish, he said. Fish that you were. I am sorry that I went too far out. I ruined us both. But we have killed many sharks, you and I, and ruined many others. How many did you ever kill, old fish? You do not have that spear on your head for nothing. He liked to think of the fish, and what he could do to a shark, if he were swimming free. I should have chopped the bill off to fight them with, he thought. But there was no hatchet and then there was no knife. But if I had, and could have lashed it to an oar butt, what a weapon! Then we might have fought them together. What will you do now if they come in the night? What can you do? Fight them, he said. I'll fight them until I die. But in the dark now, and no glow showing and no lights, and only the wind, and the steady pull of the sail, he felt that perhaps he was already dead. He put his two hands together, and felt the palms. They were not dead, and he could bring the pain of life by simply opening and closing them. He leaned his back against the stern, and knew he was not dead. His shoulders told him. I have all those prayers I promised, if I caught the fish, he thought. But I am too tired to say them now. I better get the sack, and put it over my shoulders. He lay in the stern, and steered, and watched for the glow to come in the sky. I have half of him, he thought. Maybe I'll have the luck to bring the forward half in. I should have some luck. No, he said. You violated your luck when you went too far outside. Don't be silly, he said aloud. And keep awake and steer. You may have much luck yet. I'd like to buy some, if there's any place they sell it, he said. What could I buy it with? he asked himself. Could I buy it with a lost harpoon and a broken knife and 2 bad hands? You might, he said. You tried to buy it with 84 days at sea. They nearly sold it to you too. I must not think nonsense, he thought. Luck is a thing that comes in many forms, and who can recognize her? I would take some though in any form, and pay what they asked. I wish I could see the glow from the lights, he thought. I wish too many things. But that is the thing I wish for now. He tried to settle more comfortably to steer, and from his pain he knew he was not dead. He saw the reflected glare of the lights of the city, at what must have been around 10 o'clock at night. They were only perceptible at first as the light is in the sky before the moon rises. Then they were steady to see across the ocean, which was rough now with the increasing breeze. He steered inside of the glow, and he thought that now, soon, he must hit the edge of the stream. Now it is over, he thought. They will probably hit me again. But what can a man do against them in the dark without a weapon? He was stiff and sore now, and his wounds and all of the strained parts of his body hurt with the cold of the night. I hope I do not have to fight again, he thought. I hope so much, I do not have to fight again. They came in a pack, and he could only see the lines in the water that their fins made, and their phosphorescence as they threw themselves on the fish. He clubbed at heads, and heard the jaws chop and the shaking of the skiff, as they took hold below. He clubbed desperately at what he could only feel and hear, and he felt something seize the club, and it was gone. He jerked the tiller free from the rudder, and beat and chopped with it, holding it in both hands and driving it down again and again. But they were up to the bow now, and driving in one after the other and together, tearing off the pieces of meat that showed glowing below the sea, as they turned to come once more. One came, finally, against the head itself, and he knew that it was over. He swung the tiller across the shark's head, where the jaws were caught in the heaviness of the fish's head, which would not tear. He swung it once and twice and again. He heard the tiller break, and he lunged at the shark with the splintered butt. He felt it go in, and knowing it was sharp he drove it in again. The shark let go and rolled away. That was the last shark of the pack that came. There was nothing more for them to eat. The old man could hardly breathe now, and he felt a strange taste in his mouth. It was coppery and sweet, and he was afraid of it for a moment. But there was not much of it. He spat into the ocean and said, "Eat that, Galanos. And make a dream, you've killed a man." He knew he was beaten now finally and without remedy, and he went back to the stern, and found the jagged end of the tiller would fit in the slot of the rudder well enough for him to steer. He settled the sack around his shoulders, and put the skiff on her course. He sailed lightly now, and he had no thoughts nor any feelings of any kind. He sailed lightly now, and he had no thoughts nor any feelings of any kind. He was past everything now, and he sailed the skiff to make his home port, as well and as intelligently as he could. In the night, sharks hit the carcass, as someone might pick up crumbs from the table.